Okay. Welcome everyone. Today is Wednesday, March 5th, 2025, to our business meeting. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gibson?
Here.
Mr. Llewellyn?
Here.
Mrs. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Mundy?
Here.
Mrs. Shopper?
Here.
All right. Would you like to stand for the pledge of allegiance?
Remove the flag.
Oh, where's
It's back here.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Glad you said something. I said my name, I wouldn't know.
I'm trying to get out of
Yeah, I know. I don't see it, so I don't know. I would have been moved.
All right, so we're going to start with our introductions today. I'll start with our table to my left. We have Jack Haig, our business manager. We have Miss Julie Jones, one of our curriculum directors, well, the curriculum director. We have Becky Yearman, our director of student services. Mr. Devin Berry, we have him as our human resources director. Would you guys like to say your names? These are our student reps.
Hi, I'm Krista Barnett. Oh, I'm a senior.
I'm Haley Schuster and I'm a junior.
Hi, I'm Daniela Rodriguez Vasquez and I'm a freshman.
And that's why we have them say their own names. And then continuing right along down the line here, we have Miss Lori Gibson, one of our board members. We have Dr. Andrea Townsend, our superintendent. I am Nate Mundy. I'm also one of the board members. And then we have our wonderful vice president, Leslie Miller. We have John O'Malley, a board member. We have Miss Angie Shockley, another board member. And of course, right at the end, we have Mr. Ryan Sloan, our treasurer. It's good to see everyone here today. All right, it is recommended for the agenda for the March 5th, 2025 meeting to be adopted as presented. Motion second, please.
So moved.
Second.
All right, roll call.
Mrs. Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn?
Yeah.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Mrs. Shopper?
Yes.
All right, I do not see anything in regards to comments from the agenda, so we'll move right on to our communication update. Ms. Corbett?
Okay. I'm running behind time here. Good evening, everyone. I wanted to start by reminding you of how you can find out what's happening in the school district. We have westcarrolltonschools.com, our webpage, social media. We have Facebook at West Carrollton City Schools, X at WC City Schools, Instagram at WC_City Schools. These are some of the stories you'll see on our social media, as well as our news section on our website. And oh my gosh, that's me. Yes, I put that up there specifically because I was pretty sure Miss Barnett was going to talk about this maybe later. Do want to congratulate Mary Jo Phillips. She won the Daniel E. Creamer Friends of Athletics Award recipient. Actually, she will be picking up the award this Sunday. And but we do know she's getting it, so we're very proud of her. She's been around the school district for a very long time as a secretary, working athletic events. You'll always see her, and she's always got a smile. So these are the communication methods you'll get from the school district. You'll get text or emails, message from your West Carrollton schools on your email. You'll get phone calls. Some of the things you'll get are news from your child's school, including school event dates, messages from your child's school principal, news from the superintendent, and winter is not done with us yet. Just in case a school delay or closure occurs, that's how we will be sending you information. Oops. Some of these dates coming up in March. March 9th, this Sunday, daylight saving time begins. Turn your clocks forward 1 hour. March 12th is the beginning of the third quarter. We will be closed March 13th, 14th, and 17th, so enjoy a long weekend for the students. March 18th the kids come back to begin the fourth quarter, March 20th, the first day of spring, also my mother's 99th birthday. So anyway, okay, March 31st through April 4th will be spring break. Students will return Monday, April 7th. Those dates, again, it's on our news page as well as our social media. Perfect game. I don't know if any of you bowl or have ever bowled. That's 12 strikes in a row. And so that's pretty awesome. He had a 2-game, this is Sam Fannin, he had a 2-game series of a 556, which is the highest recorded in the MVL since the league started. So very proud of him. Also, we put that on Facebook. It's had 25,196 views. That's actually gone up since I did this morning. 251 likes, 105 loves, 9 shares. So everybody likes perfection, right? Read Across America Week. This is not Dr. Dotterman. It was the Cat in the Hat. Jumped right out of the book page, right into Schnell School to celebrate with the kids. These were our littles. And then I said, these are our mediums. They were also enjoying Read Across America Week at Harry Russell. So we talk about reading all the time. I know Dr. Townsend, I'm sure Julie Jones could also give us a lot of statistics, a lot of information about why you should read, but I went to the experts. Do you think it's important? Reading is important? And would you recommend younger kids learn to read as soon as they can? Okay. What about you? What do you think?
I think they should, because I feel like it will make their imagination be bigger, so that way they will dream big. And I think it's good because they get smarter. They'll read faster. If you're 4, then and you can read a paragraph, then you could probably read 10 paragraphs in probably 30, half an hour or something.
Okay.
Little kids, younger kids, should learn how to read, because I feel like they should use their imagination more, because when they get older, they'll become more older, and they probably won't use their imagination.
So I think that kind of said it all, right? We didn't need to go outside the district or look at studies. We can look at them right here. Winter is not done with us yet, so stay warm, be safe, be respectful, be responsible, be kind. And that's all I had this evening.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So good seeing you. You know, every single day I read during lunch. I force myself to read because I try to enjoy it. And I'm probably about 10 paragraphs every single 30 minutes. So maybe I'll get to finish a book maybe next year. We'll see what happens. All right, and then we do have presentations. They are on they're in the video. So we will move right along to Mr. Toby and his presentation.
Hi, hello, I'm Brad Toby, principal at the elementary buildings for grades 2 through 4. I'm here to give you an update on the second grade team and a little information about the state testing. So in second grade, in math, we focused on the money unit. The students love working together to share their thinking as well as writing about their thinking. The students were excited to be assigned the pull-down exit ticket problems at the end of the lesson to show their thinking via words, pictures, and or manipulatives. We used vertical boards to add a collection of coins. Students were able to share their mental math strategies as they were skip counting to find the various amounts of coins. Another fun way of learning about money was through using a computer program called Desmos. Students got to shop for an item in the toy shop and use the coins to purchase items. We're moving on to measurement this week, and the students will be using open number lines as a strategy when measuring. In English and reading, this week is Read Across America Week. For Read Across America Week, students dressed as their favorite book characters. The students are really enjoying the guest reader videos provided by the district staff members. They are also in reading in English, reading stories like The Oregon Trail, Sacagawea, and A Dinosaur Named Sue to investigate the past and see how it is and will continue to shape our future. Students are really making great connections between what people used in the past and how it has led to inventions that we use today. Lastly, in writing, we are learning about the components of a friendly letter. Students will take what they've learned and apply it to their own writing by choosing a staff member in our school to write to. They've also learned about what happens to a letter once it goes in a mailbox and how it gets from place to place. That's pretty cool. State testing wise, I know you all are excited about this, but state testing will begin after spring break on April 7th. Testing is done in grades 3 through 12. ELA testing for the district starts on the 7th, while math, science, and social study testing begins April 14th for the district. The testing window for both sessions is open for 15 consecutive days. All right, and we have on our slideshow, we have some pictures of some second graders dressed as their favorite characters. Thanks, and have a great evening.
Is there more?
And that's it. That's all the pictures.
That's it? All right. I guess we'll be moving on to the exciting part of the agenda. You know, after all the cool kids and all the neat things, we're going to talk about policy a little bit.
So, tonight is our first read, which is for discussion only. Public's invited to observe.
Oh, sorry.
But you won't take formal action tonight. So we have a review of policies, and I'm just gonna go through these. A lot of them, okay, there's a lot of them that are just small technical corrections from our last policy update. There are some new ones, and as always, I try to do these as quickly as possible. Bylaw 0131.1 is a technical correction, just making policies easier to understand and corrects verbiage and authorizes me to make such corrections. Bylaw 0171, we're rescinding that even though we adopted it not that long ago. Policy 142201 is a new policy. It aligns with policy 312201 and 412201. And this one is for the administrators. Policy 1550 has our retirement verbiage aligning with the teacher's contract based on retirement ages changing continuously. Policy 2271 is our college credit plus courses, and we offer information to our parents twice a year, and we have to use a form developed by the chancellor of the department. we already do that. So policy 2340, field trip, or district sponsored trips. It just makes sure that our overnight accommodations remain the same. This goes into effect February 25th. We actually already do that. Policy 243002, participation of community schools, STEM school students in extracurricular activities and interscholastic athletics. I already invite any kids that go to STEM or charter schools or homeschool to participate with our students. And they also have to have their mandatory training just like our kids do, and our coaches and the parents for sudden cardiac arrest and attend the mandatory informational meeting. Policy 5113 is interdistrict open enrollment, and this is just saying that we will allow open enrollment for military students who attend here, and if their parents get deployed, they can stay as a student here through open enrollment. We already do that. Policy 5120, assignments within the district. This is just aligning verbiage to match ODU provisions. We are grade banded, so it doesn't really affect us. Policy 5131, transfer students. This has to do with athletic eligibility as opposed to an academic transfer, making sure that we turn in the correct paperwork for the Ohio High School Athletic Association if a student needs necessary information sent in so they can play. Policy 5223 is release time for religious instruction. This is a new policy, and it's related to House Bill 8, and it's also a revised policy a little bit. And we will work with our entity, creating a release time during the school day for our kids. Policy 5330, use of medication. It's related to changes in House Bill 70. Over-the-counter medications have to have a specific form filled out. It allows our students to wear sunscreen, and students are have to have appropriate documentation on file with the nurses. Policy 5350, we have to make sure that we are including a comprehensive mental health and wellness program that promotes emotional and physical safety of our students and staff. We already do that. Policy 5460, graduation requirements. We've added an additional diploma seal from review, which is great. It gives our kids another option. Policy 5610 is removal, suspension, expulsion, and permanent exclusion. This reflects provisions from House Bill 206, and we already do this. So policy 5751, parental status of students. If any of our students are parents, then we make provisions and accommodations for them. Policy 578001, this is the Parent Bill of Rights, and it reflects provisions of House Bill 8. Policy 6151, insufficient funds checks. I had to ask the treasurer's office what we charge. It's a whopping $3 fee. So, policy 7421, that is for various restrooms, locker rooms, shower rooms, changing rooms, that they are labeled appropriately. Policy 744001, video surveillance and electronic monitoring. We already adopted this policy. They revised a small verbiage in it. Smart sensor monitoring technology, and it'll be in our handbooks and on the website. Policy 8142, criminal history record check for contracted school services. Everybody has to be enrolled in RAPBAC if they are contracted with us to make sure our students are safe and if they have the responsibility of care, custody, or control of any of our kids. Policy 8452 is the automated external defibrillators, AEDs, and CPR, and it relates to House Bill 47, making sure that all of our coaches, staff, everybody who works in the school district is trained and It also has us now adopting an emergency action plan and team. And then the last policy is 8500, food services. And it's just it's revised based on House Bill 8, and also talks about bad debt. That is all I have tonight.
All right, and again, this is just a discussion. There will be no vote on this one. That'll be on the next. Is there any further discussion on this?
I do have a question. What did you say about sunscreen?
It's considered an over-the-counter medication, and I had to put in the policy that if you guys wanted to use sunscreen, that you could do that without a note from your doctor or.
That's crazy that that's a thing that happens.
You guys haven't been breaking the law, have you? Staying on sunscreen without
Of course I
doctor's
have.
permission? I'll tell you
We've
what.
actually already had it where you guys could use sunscreen. I know it's silly, but other districts did not, so it's just in the new policy.
Like imagine you go to school and you're like going
Everybody's gonna
outside
have sunburn.
or something, and you don't want to get sunburned, you bring sunscreen, and then they bring you into the office and say, you have to go home, you broke one of the rules, you brought sunscreen to school.
Not anymore?
Not anymore.
Like, oh my gosh. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, we'll move right along to the financial items with number 10, right?
Thank you. I ask the board approve items 10A through 10C as presented.
So moved.
Any discussion?
Since we only had one meeting in February, and that meeting was early February, there wasn't a meeting later on in February to approve the January financial reports. So these are the reports through January 31. So we'll have the reports through February 28th at our next meeting. The story is kind of the same in terms of like the budget to actual in terms of we know that our state funding is going to be lower than the estimate that I put together back in November. So we obviously will monitor that, and hopefully there are other variances within the estimates to offset that. But it's just something to keep in mind as we move forward, and that's really the only thing on the finances. And then we have donation from American Income Life Insurance Company, and then a donation from the Band Boosters, and so we definitely appreciate those two donations.
Yeah, always good to see donations. All right, anyone else? All right, we'll move along for the roll call.
Mr. Llewellyn?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Mrs. Shockley?
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson?
Yes.
All right, item number 11 is about resolutions to file complaints against the valuation of real property for tax year 2024. Oh, wow, all right. Right? I just got to mention it, but.
As you said, I ask that the board approve as presented the resolutions to file complaint against the valuation of real property for tax year 2024.
So moved. Second.
A couple years ago, the state legislature changed the process. So one of the changes they made, it reduced the number of filings that can happen, but the filings that the district does want to do have required board approval. And there's only 2 properties, and the point of it is just to when we see commercial property sales where the sales price is significantly higher than the value that the county auditor has. The point is just to ask the county to address that, just so that all of our taxpayers across the district are paying their fair share.
Great. Okay. All right, well, with all that, we'll move, except if anyone else has any other discussions to it, we'll move along for the roll call.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Mrs. Shockley?
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn?
Yes. Okay. Move right on to number 12 here about personnel items. Devin?
Good evening.
Good evening.
The superintendent recommends that the board approve listed personnel items 12A through 12K.
Can I get a motion in a second, please?
So moved. Second.
right, any discussion, Devin? I see that we have a little bit of, we have some alumni. See a 2019 alumni. That was the year I graduated, so it's always nice to see.
Yes.
See some of my people there, so it's great. All right, we'll go to the vote.
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shopper,
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller.
Yes.
Okay. Yep, number 13, we're going to keep with the personnel items. Devin?
The superintendent recommends that the board approve the listed personnel items 13A through 13C.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion with this? Not nearly as much as I thought.
No, just preparing for spring sports.
Good. All right, Brian?
Mrs. Shopper,
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller,
Abstain.
Mr. Mundy.
Yes. Okay, item number 14 deals with OHSAA.
And I would like to recommend that the board adopt the resolution confirming that the West Carrollton School District will conduct athletics in accordance with the Constitution, bylaws, regulations, interpretations, and decisions of the Ohio High School Athletic Association as presented. This resolution shall remain in effect for the 25-26 school year.
All right, can we have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Isn't this something that we, this is,
It's yearly.
yeah, it's typical, right?
Yep.
There's nothing really new to it.
No? Just send this card back and we're good.
All right. Ryan, we're ready for the call?
Mrs. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller,
Since it deals with rules and regulations, I'll vote yes.
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shopper.
Yes.
All right. We're jumping over to Jack for ESC. Was it transport? Transport for the ESC?
Okay, thank you very much. The superintendent recommends that the board approve as presented transportation contract with senior assistants to transport a student to and from the Greene County Educational Service Center in Bellbrook, Ohio for the 24-25 school year.
All right. Can I get a motion second, please?
So moved. Second.
Probably old hat for you guys, you've seen a lot of these.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's easy enough for me. We'll move to a call.
Mr. Llewellyn,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shopper,
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson,
Yes.
Okay. Item number 16 deals with the Miami Valley Educational Computer Association. So, about, Rebecca?
Yeah.
And then that's about wiring, data,
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, one of those. I'll let you handle that.
The superintendent recommends that the board enter into a 3-year agreement beginning July 1st, 2025, continuing through June 30th, 2028, with Miami Valley Educational Computer Association, MVECA, to provide 5 gig internet access through lit fiber and a 10 gigabyte WAN system, which is wireless network, or in-building network, between all West Carrollton City School District buildings. West Carrollton City Schools agrees to pay the one-time construction fee of $3,750 and an E-rate discounted cost of $750 and a yearly service fee of $51,744 with an E-rate discount cost of $10,348.80.
Wow. All right.
So moved. Yeah.
Second.
Thanks. It is tough not having, talk about technology, it is tough not having my notes in front of me because my computer didn't want to technologically connect, so.
MVECA is our internet provider, and they have been for 3 years, and this is a second 3-year contract we've had with them. They provide fiber internet into our buildings, and then they also provide a connection for us on our own network that connects all of our buildings together. So, and the internet, the fiber is used for all of our internet, our phones run through it, it's a big part of our everyday life, so. And the E-rate part of it is what we pay, because we deal with the same thing the libraries do. We're part of the E-rate system, so and we're on an 80% discount. So even though our E-rate services show up as 51,000, we get a rebate back from, I'm drawing a blank on it now, the name of the organization.
Good question.
But we do get a rebate back, so we only end up paying $10,000 a year for internet service for our entire school district. Compare that to what you pay at your house, I think we get a pretty good deal on that.
Yeah, really, well, and especially for the speeds that it has.
Yeah.
That's really impressive. So I guess my question is like, do you have to pull any wires or switch out any wires?
Everything's in, and we're going, the construction fee, that $3,750 is to, that'll be to hook up our new 712 building onto the fiber network.
Right.
So, because they'll have a new internet connection, so that's just that termination fee that we're paying to them for that. Everything else is already connected or hooked up. And this contract is less than our previous contract with them because it doesn't include Chanel or Russell, because those schools are going away, so we're taking that internet connection down. The 2-4 building, we're not putting a new internet connection in, we're running a wire from the ECC over to it, so we're just treating it like an addition to the ECC for internet services. So,
Yeah, isn't that something?
So what kind of access do we have now compared to what this is? Is it the same?
no, we've got 2 gigabytes worth of service,
Okay.
so we can handle a bandwidth. So we're going up to 5.
Okay.
Because we thought we thought you were talking about how fast it is now, and we were like,
Because it's not great.
It's amount of devices that can be on it total, on the network. Now, I'll say for the high school side, there's only, if you're on Wi-Fi, for every Wi-Fi access point like the one up there on the ceiling, it'll only handle so many devices. So if there's 30 or 40 or 50 devices on that one Wi-Fi access point, it'll slow the internet down for all those people that are on it. So the new building will have access points in every classroom, plus up and down the hallways. Gymnasium will have 4. I mean, we've kind of covered the bases on that for the new
So
building.
it's definitely because I spoke with some of the teachers that said that they feel like that some of their class time is being taken trying to get that stuff loaded. And so I was hoping that was going to be.
Yeah, it's probably not the Wi-Fi as much as it is the firewalls and stuff they have to go through to load some of that stuff too. So,
So, I know we have a lot of questions here. So even though they yonder bag their phones at the high school, does it automatically connect to that? That would slow the system down, or is that totally different?
that's the middle school, that yonder bag.
Oh,
We don't have
We get them.
That might even think.
We get them if we are on our phones
Right.
and he says,
No,
yonder
like-
bag.
Either way, no one actively on their phone is probably a better way of saying it.
if your phone is still,
You know?
if your phone is set up to search for Wi-Fi, it's still going to tap into these Wi-Fi access
Right.
points.
So it naturally slows
If
things
you
down
have
with that.
connected to it once before, it will connect to it.
Like as soon as I.
Like when you walk into your house, that's
Yeah.
the same type of thing.
So you'd have to have the phone fully off then for it to not ping that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Or you have to have it in airplane mode or.
Or turn your Wi-Fi
Or
off.
turn your Wi-Fi off, yeah.
Wow. So when it comes to using Chromebooks and things like that to try to do work and all that, you're almost doubling the amount of things that's hidden
Yeah.
because
Well, I'd
most
say,
kids have a phone.
I'd say this, the same thing I tell my granddaughter and that I told my daughters when they had their phones. Look, even though you don't have your phone out in school, if it's still hitting all this, when you get out of school, your phone battery is going to be dead because your phone is trying and searching and looking for all this stuff. So you're still using your battery up. Smart move, shut that phone down, don't let it search for Wi-Fi until you can finally use your phone and turn it on and have a battery. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
This has been very interesting stuff for me because this is not my cup of tea at all.
Right now, my daughters would be saying, "Dad's talking about Wi-Fi? Oh my gosh." What's going on?
There you go.
Way above my head. Does anyone else have any questions? No? We're good? All right, well, we'll move to a vote then.
Mrs. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shopton,
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn.
Yes. Okay, moving to our last item here, number 17, deals with the change orders for the 712 building project. Jay?
Yep. The superintendent recommends the board approve as presented the following change orders for the 712 building project.
Easy enough. Can I get a motion in a second, please?
So moved.
Second. You want to talk a little bit more about the change orders?
I can tell you what they are. The change order number 36, roof system variance. What that is our initial roof that we had set up for these buildings is similar to what we did here at the intermediate school, which is basically a metal roof deck, insulation built up to slope the roof in the angles we wanted to, and then they put we'll just call it a rubber surface over top, and then that's basically your roof, okay? So on the new buildings, the OFCC is requiring us to put a cover board between the insulation and the rubber roofing, which makes for a harder surface. Look at it like saying a sheet of plywood or backer board or something harder, so that if you're walking on or taking heavy equipment across the roof, it doesn't indent into the styrofoam insulation that's up there. So that was not in the initial bid because we thought we could put the roof on exactly how it was. And in the past, they've given that variance. They've decided not to give that variance any longer, so now we have to pay the extra money on it, so, because it went in the initial bid. On the terrazzo floor, that's like the floor we have in the hallways of the high school. And we're putting red, white, black, and gray terrazzo at the main entrance to the high school, middle school, in the front hallway, and also back in the athletic area, leading from the athletic entrance down to the gymnasium area. So that way it'll have red, white, and black design terrazzo in those areas. So.
I believe that we're going to try to extract one of the ships.
Yes, that's also included in this is the one pirate ship out of the 300s will be most likely this summer taken out of the high school, moved over and placed into the new high school. So
it's very exciting for especially alumni to have the actual pirate ship itself. You know, 'cause
and then for next school year, there'll be a blank piece of concrete in its place in the middle of the 300s lounge. So,
I guess they can step on it then.
yeah, we're okay with that.
Can't step on it now, but when it's just a piece of concrete.
Mr. White originally was gonna get like something to put around it so you couldn't like, he was
You
gonna
literally
get
could not
tape,
step.
take it off so you couldn't walk through it because kids walk through it. Like they don't care.
Correct. It's a
I
scary
will ask
thing.
about that actually.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, try to protect it as much as possible before we extract it, you know? So. Yeah, it will be. All right, well, we'll move right along then. We'll move to the standard rep report if you guys have.
Hey, Haley.
Oh, wait, did we not vote yet?
We have to vote.
Oh,
Haley?
my gosh. I'm
Haley
just
and-
having a time.
Haley and Kristen, as a punishment maybe, and this is gonna sound bad because I'm saying, I'm gonna be talking about how boring this might be to them. But as a punishment, if they walk over that ship, tell them they gotta attend one of these meetings. Every time they do it. That ought to stop it.
I'll make some signs.
Yeah.
Kind of slammed us, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think that was a compliment.
Yeah, but in a teenager perspective, it makes sense.
All right, yeah, let's vote on this. Brian?
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shockley,
Yes.
Mrs. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller.
Yes.
All right, now we'll move on to the standard rep report. If anyone would like to start.
You wanna start? Oh, I thought you. Okay, so yeah, with hold on. Montgomery County Educational Service Center. There are 3 of us that went to this, not us, but 3 other students, that were like elected to be on this like committee type thing. And so we went to the State House last week, something like that. And so we went to a committee hearing. We talked to legislative aides, and then we talked to Senator Huffman, Tom Young, and Rodney Creech. And then, so we brought we had like these 3 like topics that we wanted to bring up because we were coming as like a big group of students trying to, bring like topics as students that we wanted to bring up to, you know, like representatives and things like that. So we brought ensuring safe and inclusive schools for all students. So basically like safety measures, inclusive educational resources, and mental health resources, which I would say that we do a pretty good job at. And we had also brought up SROs for a lot of schools because we had realized that our SRO had helped a lot. So, and the 2 coaches that we have also. So like, and a lot of other schools didn't have, you know, SROs or anyone really in the hallway besides like teachers. And then our second one was expanding college and career access. So there was a student there that thought her school did not do an adequate job at preparing students who weren't going into college for their other options, like the CTC. And I had told her, I had said, well, I feel like, you know, we were made aware of a lot of our options. And she said, I feel like at my school they didn't at all. So we brought that up, saying maybe like, just make people more aware of like things, options like the CTC. And then accountability for all schools receiving public funds. So basically standardized accountability measures and public funding eligibility. So implementing a universal accountability standard across all schools receiving public funds to evaluate performance and ensure consistency. So if a school is receiving public funds, they need to have to like, we want them to adhere to a standard, like a testing standard or something, like every other school. Because if they're receiving public funds, they should have to do the same thing that public schools are, if they're receiving public funds, basically. And that's what we brought to them. But it was really fun and it was really pretty and I took a lot of pictures. But yeah, it was really fun. It was a lot of walking. But we didn't get to go into the governor's office or anything. But they were like, yeah, you can look, but you can't go. But yeah, it was pretty fun. And then I have to talk about the Caring Closet. So the Caring Closet has been really good. We got a lot of donations and I went through a lot. We have discovered that our best means of communication to students is through social media and not through counselors, because I don't know how many, and we are not being made aware when people are going in, when like the counselors take them, because every single time that a student has gone in there, we don't know. So I have taken multiple people in the past week to get things, and they didn't even, some people didn't even know that the closet was a thing, even though you made an announcement on the news, right? Yeah, so she even made an announcement on the news, and they didn't even know it was a thing.
Welcome to parenthood.
So, yeah, so they didn't know, but now they do. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to, I have a TikTok set up. Oh yeah, I have a TikTok set up, and then I posted something on my Snapchat about it, and then that reached a few people because they like screenshotted it and posted it on their story. So then when they, like, it was people who needed it, they posted it on their story, and then more of their friends who also needed it were like, oh, like you did that? Then I can do it too, since you did it, you know? So they felt more comfortable since their friends had done it. So, but yeah, it feels like our better means of communication is through like a student and not through the counselors, even though, you know, I mean, we have that form of communication set up, even if they don't, like, and they know that they can go through their counselors. It's just, they would rather talk to me or Haley, so, yeah. What do you have to say about that?
We also made an email for the Caring Closet. What is it? Can you look actually? I think of that.
It's, hold on. It's WCHS Caring Closet at gmail.com.
Who responds to it when an email comes in?
Both of
Kristen and I
us.
do.
The two of you?
Yes.
Okay. Or at the end
So
of that?
if you or a student, if a student needs something and your student is too afraid to reach out, or if you are a student and need something and you want to reach out and don't have social media, you can reach out through email, and the email is wchscaringcloset@gmail.com.
Who has ownership of that email?
It's not a WC email.
Okay, so what happens when you graduate?
She has, so the email is literally like it says
Like it says-
WCHS Caring Closet, so that was why we made an email like that, because to make a, social media account, we didn't want it to be a personal email, in case when I graduate or when she graduates, we didn't wanna have to reach out to somebody 5 years down the line and be like, hey, I know you graduated like 6 years ago, but what's your email for this, so this is a general, like,
And
WCHS Caring
so
Closet.
Danielle will get it too, and
So it'll just keep being.
yeah,
Yes,
it's just,
and it
all
has a
is the
general, like,
username and password, yes.
Well, and that's good, because, I mean, especially for like more official capacities,
Mhm.
like someone from Threads of Hope
Mhm.
or someone from a more official thing can actually email that,
Yes.
other than going
A
through
personal
all
email.
sorts of middlemen
And
to
so
try to
we
get you
both
emails.
have
Yes.
access to this.
And Danielle will get it too.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Oh, okay. There's a lot of little things. Prom committee is gonna start meeting next week, so that's beginning. If you're a junior. The staff student basketball game is this Friday. It's during 6th and 7th period.
Students are getting their butts whooped.
No,
That's
the
okay.
competition is getting really heated. There's been some news announcements, some commercials of students and of teachers, so it's gonna be a really good
We
game.
always do that though, and then they always get beaten, so.
Yeah, it's always fun, but it should be live streamed on YouTube if you wanna watch it. So.
Oh, it's gonna be.
Yes. Mhm. And then Mean Girls musical practice has begun. Kristen is playing Regina. I'm playing Gretchen. That'll be April, like the last weekend of April. And then, so also with that, set buildings are beginning on Saturdays.
So please come help us build this set. Please, please, please. And you get NHS hours for it too, if you're in NHS. I know no one's watching this, but please, 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 please. Please come
And
help us.
there's
build the set.
also lunch provided on Saturdays. Yeah.
That's not gonna work,
And then the
We
ACE,
don't-
yeah, and we do like Fazoli's and Pizza Hut and stuff like that. Also, next week, the juniors are taking the ACT, so getting registered for that. And then, last but not least, just student council board rep legion. So just working back and forth with them. I go to the student council meeting on Thursday mornings, and
Yeah, like
Yep.
6 a.m.
no, it's at like 7:30.
Not even on.
You're not up at 7:30?
Nope.
So there's really the basketball student game. Buy your tickets today and tomorrow. Tomorrow's at lunch, right? Yeah, tomorrow's at lunch. Why are you laughing at me? This is not fun. It's for a cancer donation thing, right? So you guys, $1. You're helping a good cause, and then it's $1. You're at your school. And then volleyball workouts started. They're Tuesday and Thursday, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the high school weight room. If you're interested. And then exams for the end of the quarter 3 next week and this week.
Great.
I'm going to add.
You wanna?
We did have I know that a lot of people were not able to be there, but we had our student board rep meeting with everybody. Daniela was there. Yes.
Yes, Daniela was there.
We have submitted a intention to present at the OSBA in November.
Sounds great.
So it's already, then we're gonna wait and see whether or not we can be accepted. But Megan did the initial application, and so hopefully we'll hear. Our next meeting of that roundtable is March 15th, and it'll still be Zoom.
What was the presentation about?
The presentation is going to be about having student reps on your board, and yeah,
So
it's same kind of thing.
because there's a lot of people that are very interested in what we do.
Isn't that something? Well, and I hope if you guys are able to, I hope we get a big room for that, because the last time, we packed that house.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, on the Tuesday, which like no one
No.
usually stays.
Yeah, and we were opposite John Lithgow too.
Wow, really?
Yes,
Oh
and
my
we drew
gosh.
standing room only.
Yep, standing room. I mean, it was an
So,
incredible presentation.
We're gonna hope
Oh,
to go, so.
isn't that something?
Mhm.
I did have a question for you guys. I had, actually, I had two questions.
Yes.
The donations, how's the donations going with the closet? Is there anything that you guys need?
There is
Or-
stuff that we need and things that we need less of, and I will tell you exactly what they are right now. What we need more of is, I will say, well,
Did I put you on the spot?
like graphic tees, graphic t-shirts, I guess like graphic tank tops or tank tops, you know, and this is gender neutral. I'm saying this for, you know, girls and boys. And shorts now, because it's about to get warmer and people, you know, don't want to go outside in their, you know, Nike sweatpants. And we have a lot of donations. Yes, we did have a lot of donations. And less cargo pants. We do. We have a lot of cargo pants, men's cargo pants, and a lot of men's jeans too. We have a lot of men's jeans, like a lot, and not a lot of guys are coming in either. So if you have a son that needs something from the closet, we have clothes, we have socks, we have lots of socks. Oh my gosh, we have lots of socks. Oh my gosh, we have lots of socks. So I will send your son home with a bag of socks if he needs them. I'm telling you. And yeah. And also, if you have any extra like perfume or lotion or anything, like, you know, those people who stock up at Bath and Body Works when they go on sale, yeah, we would love to get a donation of those if they're like, you know, not really used. Because I did just have a friend donate a lot of hers, and that really does help us out, because a lot of the people who come in say, oh, my parents can buy me, you know, most of my essentials, but they can't buy me things that they don't see as essential, which is like perfume, scented lotion, makeup as well. So we're gonna be thinking about that too. If you guys get the little, what is that brand called? Is it Ipsy? Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Ipsy? Yeah, Ipsy? Do you guys not know what that is?
I do.
Okay. Ipsy. If you guys get Ipsy and you don't use it, send it to us. Thank you.
And then. I
Oh,
know-
you have another question? Sorry.
Yeah, very quickly, because I know we have a lot to talk about. When you went to the State House, how was the, sorry, that's scary. How was the state reps? Were they pretty, like, supportive of your guys' ideas?
Well, okay, I'm gonna be pretty honest. We were not very good with conveying I say we lightly, not very good at conveying what we wanted. It got very personal, and then it got to a point where it was like, that is not what we brought to discuss at all. And so one of them actually did say, so what are you trying to make the point of? And I had to be like, well, I think what he's trying to say is, and yeah, because he was like, but yeah, no, they were pretty supportive of most of the things, because most of them had the same view as, you know, I mean, it's kind of hard to say, I don't support your schools being safer. You know?
I mean, that's true, right.
Because if you said that, then I don't know how you're gonna do. But yeah, that's
Okay.
yes. Okay, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right, thanks. All right, well, we'll move right along to committee reports then. Does anyone have committee reports? Yeah.
I have at least two.
Oh, okay, I have two as well. I got
Yeah.
the VAC.
Oh, good.
Hey,
So,
Lord, add what you can.
which will be very little. Okay, so I'm gonna start with, I guess, the oldest one. So now that I'm officially CTC, school board. Let me just throw a little bit. First of all, that building is amazing. And it's really, again, I think I mentioned before, I'm an old lady, and when I was going through school, CTC was where you sent kids who didn't behave well, that didn't do well in school. You just sent them there. It was kind of a, well, this is where you go to learn to do something, and we don't have to deal with you. That is not, and it was actually, that was JVS. So I think the fact that they changed it to CTC should say that it's a completely different atmosphere, and the preparations that they give these kids and all the different things that are available, OMG, it is amazing there. State of the art, on top of things. Everything is, I mean, they got it going on. So I'm very overwhelmed to be on another school board, overwhelmed. But one of the few things that I found that I thought was interesting is that in January, the College Credit Plus, they had 336 total fall participation, which was up from 213 the year before. And specifically, there were 19 students, West Carrollton students, that participated in the College Credit Plus, and they had 27 total courses. So it's not just the kids that don't do well in school. These are kids that are really excelling and doing things that really help them. So I thought that was, I love that we had some West Carrollton numbers in there. And then their numbers are just keep increasing. They have already gotten 1,767 applications for the 2025 year. So that is huge. That's up 443 from 2023. So in 2 years, they've increased about 40%. No, 30%. Hey, you get the math going there?
I do not.
Good. Okay, so we're going to go with 30% and then just round it wherever you need to when you do the math in your head. And also out in my car that I forgot to bring in was a cute little Christmas tree that the kids made. It's made out of metal, and it was completely made by the kids, and they formulated the whole thing. It's painted, it's gorgeous. I've been carrying it in my car for over a month now, and I was really hoping to get it out of my car, and yet here we are. So next month, there will be a Christmas tree presented to us for that. Okay, so also, oh, I just lost all my notes. Also, they are very interested in us becoming a satellite school with them. And we are going to, I talked to Dr. Townsend, and I think that's something that we are wanting to definitely work at and get going. I know Miamisburg will start that this year, and as will Jefferson Township. So it is coming this direction, and we want to be a part of that because it's a great resource for our school. And that's all I got to say about that one. You want me next one?
Sure.
Next one. District leadership team this morning. I was there. I could throw out this MTSS, but I'm going to tell you what it means because no one but us is going to know. No one excluding me. Multi-tier system of support. I take notes. And you know, it's a big way of saying it supports all the kids no matter where they're at. And recognizing that not all the kids are, not everyone is in this tier. Not everyone is, that all the tiers have to work together. And that it's data-driven, whatever. It's not just for kids that have IEPs. It used to be that if you had an IEP, you were the kid that got all the help. This is for every child, whether you are thriving and you need something to push you farther, or you're really struggling and you need that help to pull you up. So a lot of talk about that and how that will work best, how we can communicate with each other. So it was a really good meeting. And that is all I have to say about that.
Great. Thank you. Leslie, you want to?
I can't do the building project quite justice like Jack can because he goes and and actually lives over there and knows all of it. However, I wanted to convey to all of you that the 234 is getting very, very close to completion. And in doing so, we're going to schedule the board a time to go over and go through it. So they are still painting, they are still putting up, I believe I overheard you say the last window went in
Yeah.
to the 234 building. So all the windows are in. They're starting to do the finishing touches and stuff on that. So we will get a tour for everyone and we can go over and look.
When would you like this? I know you have dates.
I think May would probably, how about the first meeting in May?
For the two.
First meeting in May, go over and see it? Okay.
Okay, get here a little early for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it is looking very, very nice.
It is.
Especially with all the
It's gonna be-
brick and.
You will love it when you go through it, so we'll just put that on our agenda. That's all I had to say.
I don't know if, did you,
I'll get him later.
was there anything you really wanted to add to that, Jack, or, I know she said.
No, she summed it up pretty well. I mean,
Pretty good stuff there.
we've got, they're on the first floor in the, I'll say the south end of the building, which is closest to the middle school, and they're installing tack boards are up, whiteboards are up, cabinets are in, lights are on, ceiling tiles are in, so they're working from that end down. As soon as they finish with all the interior of the classrooms, they're gonna start tiling hallways, and that should be probably within the next week or so. They'll be moving to hallways to start tiling hallways. So, gym's all painted. They painted it this week, which what a difference that makes. Just getting a coat of white, just white paint on it. So just to get started with, but yeah, every day you go in there, something big has happened right now. So it's good to see.
It's almost like a snowball effect of change. I mean, every single time you go in there, more and more and more is getting done.
So far this week, we're averaging over 90 construction workers a day on that project,
Wow.
which is, it's a lot. It's
Just
a lot
for
of
this
people.
building or for both?
Just for this building
Just for
here.
this building.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
so,
Yeah, the move-in date is towards the end of May,
we will be moving the first week in June,
first week in June.
is
Yes.
the plan. We'll
So-
move in there until teachers get out, stay out, give us a couple more months to finish punch list items, and then we'll be ready come August.
And we have a moving company that's actually going to help with this.
Planes moving and storage out of Miamisburg.
They're going to help get everybody, they will give us boxes, I believe, and the teachers will box up everything and then we'll move it. So, I just wanted us to get in there before they, so you can see it all, before everybody gets in. Then we can go again, maybe in August, we can see it all prettied.
Wow.
That's all I have.
Well, thank you, appreciate it, yeah. I have two committees that I want to talk about. Of course, one of them is our Business Advisory Council. That's why we did not have a meeting at the end of last month, was because everyone had to go and be at that Business Advisory Council. I always really enjoy it. There's something really cool to see. A lot of passionate school board members, a lot of passionate administrators, and then a lot of businesses to all kind of converge and have a really good conversation on the amazing things that we have been doing. Some of them is what the ESC had. Okay, I always see it as 5 stars, but they have 4 stars, which is the highest amount of stars. There's no 5 stars, and I think that's something that's really a big deal, which is great because it's always good to see if our ESC is doing good. That means that we're doing a good job being supportive of them, and then of course vice versa. There's a few cool things that I kind of picked out from that Business Advisory Council meeting. Of course, there's a lot of data and very official things that everyone would probably fall asleep if we start diving in. But some of the more fun things that I thought was really interesting was at our table we had a robotics company, and just an incredible company and they were just so excited with working on all the cool things. Are they gonna be a part of the
Job fair.
job fair, right? So they will actually be at our high school job fair, which is really cool to kind of show off some of their amazing robotics things and all the technology, and it's very cool. So there's that. I also found out that out of the 23 districts, I believe it's for the Montgomery County ESC and the Warren County ESC.
Correct, and they're adding some more ESCs.
Yeah, they're kind of combining a little bit, but out of the 23 districts, the kids that's in those districts went to over 1,000 events in just the last year, if I'm correct, which is pretty incredible to think that there's that many events out there for kids to go to learn new things, find new opportunities, things that really get them forward in life. I just think that's cool. And then there's a few neat little things like the Ford Foundation, which was kind of cool. And then there was, I think it's called DIG program. It's ran by women business owners. And it kind of brings like a lot of young women in to show that, like, I mean, there's big things that can happen. Yeah, they use like the big claw machines or whatever you want to call them. I'm not a construction person at all. Excavators, backhoe, yeah.
Excavator. Yeah.
Like the big machines. I always call them just the big machines. You know, the big yellow things. It seems pretty cool, that program, to really kind of get young women excited to be in a force that's usually dominated by men workers. So, and then we had great speakers. Of course, yeah, they were local speakers. And then they talked a little bit about our youth science, which I still need to do. I've been fortunate enough to be able to try it out, and I haven't done it yet. But I'm excited to see, because that youth science program is so incredible when it comes to data and kind of finding out exactly what a child would want and their journey of what they want to do. So that's our Business Advisory Council. And then I had a few things for our legislative liaison. I believe it was in committee. I actually don't know exactly who is going for it or whatnot. If I saw somebody in one of the committees if I had my technology, I would know. But sadly, it didn't want to work today. Somebody had computer science, to try to add computer science to high school
They already have, I don't know why it's
grad
there.
requirements. Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
It's already there.
Aren't we like?
Well, we already do, but it's already a requirement.
Oh, is it already a requirement? That sounds like the state house. And then this is also something I think we're ahead of. They're trying to make the school year longer, because a lot of them are saying that math and reading is not proficient in a lot of school districts, which could be true. And then Ohio, out of Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio is actually the least when it comes to amount of educational time for our students. So the thing is, I believe we do a pretty darn good job. So in hours, they're trying to raise it from 1,001 hours to 1,055 hours, which would add, a few more days?
I'm graduating, so.
You're not worried about?
No.
No? So.
Unless they're doing it now.
I believe one of the reps was talking about how, we have extended, breaks and extended this and extended that, like they want to shorten something. So it's just something, I believe it's in committee, so, who knows where it might go. It might die tomorrow and no one even hear about it. Right, and the state rate versus and all that. So, I know Senator Brenner is definitely laying off some really interesting bills that's coming out. One of them is Senate Bill 107, which has been something that's been coming around a lot, especially last year. You've heard about it, and the year prior. They've been trying hard to have party designations on the ballot for school board members, kind of making school boards more partisan when it comes to ballots. And of course, with that would add a election primary process. So, take what you will for it. Who knows if they'll have it passed this year. Of course, things have been going more conservative when it comes to Ohio. So that's something that we might see. If that's the case, then primary is going to be very interesting, because it makes it a political position. So that'll be something to look at. And then, of course, Senate Bill 113. You might have seen a little bit of it in the news. Senator Brenner is trying to prohibit DEI in schools. So that's another thing to be looking at. And it's something that's gaining a little bit of traction there. So we'll probably see a little bit of work coming through that. I know in the committees they were having a lot of conversation about it, and we'll see what happens there. And then House Bill 117 requires the Pledge of Allegiance in schools. I don't think there'd be any schools that don't have that, but I guess just in case if one doesn't somewhere. Yeah, so somebody, because it's a House bill now that might pass. So there's that. House Bill 125 was actually a Rodney Creech one, which was kind of interesting. Allowing absences in schools for 4-H and FFA programs.
It's already approved.
Is it already approved?
No, anybody who's
Oh.
run an FFA
Oh.
program or 4-H, they're
I know.
excused.
Well, they're trying to make it state law now, so.
That's silly, because it's already approved.
Do you know if that also excludes, like, I'm not in the 4-H program, but I do compete in professional wrestling at the fairs. So will that exclude me as well?
No.
I wouldn't think
So
so.
for FFA, you get credit.
Right.
So, you can get science credit, you get your, you have to have your meetings and your clubs and everything.
Right.
Same with 4-H, so they're more organized.
Oh.
No, but they don't like the rodeos.
Yes, I was just curious.
That would have been
That's a
good
good
if they
question.
added rodeo into that. Hey, well, I mean, it's not too late to add an amendment, so, you can go to the State House and try to shoot for the rodeo. And then Senate Bill 34, they actually had a committee meeting about it yesterday. And Senate Bill 34 is adding the 10 Commandments back into the schools. The only reason why I mentioned that is I just remember someone texting me about it. They're like, hey, by the way, check at 3 o'clock, someone's talking about it then. So there's that. Yeah, that's all for, I know we have a lot of legislative stuff, so. Yeah, and we'll move right along. Do you have any comments for
I do. You have my
Superintendent?
notes?
I do have your notes.
Couple things. We have a lot of dates for this month, as Mrs. Corbett mentioned. End of third quarter and the beginning of fourth quarter. I can't believe we're in the last quarter of school. On the 13th, our teachers had PPP Day, which is professional development. And don't ask me why we have a long weekend this weekend. I can't remember when we did the calendar a couple years ago. Also, senior citizens, we have our senior citizen breakfast on Thursday, April 24th at 8:30 a.m. and a musical preview at 9:30 a.m. And you need to call the front office, Ms. Circute at the high school, 937-859-5121, and she's extension 1. And it's always a great time to go if you're able.
That's fantastic.
That's all I have.
So what do you consider a senior citizen?
You're not a
Or what?
senior citizen,
Okay.
sorry, sir.
I'm about to hit my quarter life crisis.
Do you have a golden bucket card yet? If not.
I'm working towards it. I'm working towards it. All right, we'll move along to the treasurer. Ryan, do you have any extra comments?
Just real quick, I gave you a one-page summary of the budget, the K-12 budget for the state of Ohio that the governor put out about a month ago. In total, the state legislature would probably, they would say that they're putting about 1.5% increase into K-12 for next year and then the following year. But when you break it out by the 4 categories, the top category, traditional school districts, so that those are public school districts, and then community and STEM, and then JVSs, and then the scholarships for vouchers, such as money to parents to help them pay tuition at private schools. So as you can see, the public schools at the top are looking at taking about a 1% total reduction over the biennium, which would start in July. But then all the other 3 categories, the community, the STEM, and the JVS, and the vouchers are showing nice increases. So the budget is now in the House, so hopefully the House can find some additional money or redistribute the money so that public schools can get some funding increases. But otherwise, across the state, districts are not looking at much help from the state, so that's just going to continue to put more and more burden on local taxpayers to fund schools and teachers. So obviously, we'll watch this over the next 4 months. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. We do not have any comments from either of our associations, so I'll move right on to central office. Jack, you want to start?
I think I've talked enough tonight. I don't really have anything else to add. Thank you, though.
I just want to say that we have literacy night tomorrow night at the ECC. So for kindergarten and first grade families, so it starts at around 5:30. Yeah, so another event to look forward to. It'll be a good evening. The theme is black lights, glow in the dark reading. So it'll be fun for the kids.
Yes, definitely come on out for literacy night.
It's job fair season, recruiting time, so went to Shawnee State. Brad and I went to UD, and I normally take a principal to the local ones. We'll go to Miami, Bowling Green, OU, Xavier, and Wright State. To fill some of the positions of the people that are retiring and the people that are deciding to move on. Just to bring your attention to, we have a guy on campus, but in our district for the next 3 days. His name is Dr. Daniel McInnes. He's a professor from the University of Toledo, and he has a photo exhibit that he's been working on since about 21 with Northwestern Ohio, and now he's doing our district where he's highlighting teachers and kind of collecting their stories, and then the exhibit will be in Columbus for the next time. He did one in the fall at Wright State with them, so our teachers will be included. So there will be 6 of them.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
All right. I hope you can keep us updated on that, because I would honestly take the trip down to Columbus just to see that, because that's really neat. It's always nice to highlight the amazing things that we do here, you know. We have no general comments from the public, so we'll move right along to board members. Angie, you want to start?
I just want to congratulate the staff that's, congratulate the staff that's retiring. We'll of course miss them, but we wish them the best of luck in their future. That's all I have to know.
John?
Just 2 quick things. The student rep process for next year should be getting started here soon. We'll use the reps we have now to help us push that. Last year's 2 seniors that we had, they really worked it pretty hard because we had more candidates last year than ever. So a little pressure for you guys to keep that going. I will update the application and just add the 25-26 school year to it, and then kind of send it out to you guys, and you guys just run with it, and we'll kind of put some rules together for application deadlines. We kind of sent this around spring break, which I know isn't quite here yet, but and then
It was like May 10th, like May. It was like May.
so we'll kind of just introduce that idea to you, but this is the time of year to start looking at replacing Kristen, and if Haley and Daniela still want to stay with her. Did the 2 of you have any thoughts yet about continuing this next year at this point?
Yes, I will.
Okay, look at that.
Cool. So we got 2 filled already.
Oh, that saves us a little bit of effort.
The other thing I want to just highlight for a moment is I mentioned a few meetings ago that Pirate Packs was getting close to a milestone of 50,000 packs, and after last week we are at 49,911. So this Friday, when the packs are distributed, we will cross the 50,000 mark. We are doing 302 a week for about the last 2.5 months. It takes a little time to build it up, but we've been at around 302 now for at least since the Christmas break was over. So I want to just thank everybody for helping us get there and keep going, because 300 a week that's pretty normal. We've had years where it was higher than that pre-COVID, and then since COVID, this is probably about average, about 300 a week. And we appreciate all the work that goes into helping us get those to the kids, and everything that everybody does to just put the word out, because we have people show up every week to pack with us, to just show up, and we really couldn't do it without everybody, so that's all I got.
Great. All right, I'm gonna move over to Lori.
Oh. Okay, so, just a couple things. I'm gonna try and hit the things that somebody doesn't already said, so ditto on all those. And then, again, the bowling, the perfect bowling thing. Congratulations, that's pretty awesome. Not many people can say that, especially at a younger age, so good job. And Mary Jo Phillips, congratulations on the Friends of the Athletes Award. That's a cool thing. I know that the last meeting we highlighted the high school OMEA awards, but the middle school also, they had sent out a list, and I've lost it now, and I'm not gonna try and say those names, but congratulations to those people. And then, you know, my brain goes, welcome to my world, it's crazy up here. But I just want to say that as I was sitting here tonight, I looked over and I saw my dear Daniela, and I just glanced at her notebook, and everything is written in cursive. Hallelujah! Someone still knows cursive. Someone still knows cursive. I think that is a great thing. Did you learn it in school? Did your parents teach you?
I learned it in third grade, if I'm not mistaken.
Perfect.
And then they gave us books over COVID, and I got bored during COVID.
During COVID? Okay, so there was a highlight of COVID. There you go. If you need a highlight, there it is. She learned cursive.
have put it back
in after years missed it.
Yeah, we did not get that.
Okay, well,
I don't know.
okay, here is my personal advice. At least learn how to sign your name.
I know it's not.
Okay, all right, good. That's all I got.
All right, Leslie?
Just real quick, spring sports are coming. Get in touch if you want to play, get those physicals, the final forms done, and just keep up with all the announcements. A lot of the teams are starting to meet because it's time, it's March, and this is when they're going to be filling their teams. So it's fast and furious all the way through the end of the year now. Thank you.
All right. You know, I will say, it is tough not doing cursive, all right? So I'm happy that our kids are learning. You know, it's hard.
What were you doing during COVID, just saying?
Not learning cursive,
Okay.
for sure. That is for sure. I also wanted to mention about those packs. I mean, 50,000 might seem like, oh, you know, just a number. But it's not just a number. That's 50,000 kids that had the ability to eat that weekend. Right? I mean, what do you mean that? Am I getting the wrong number? 50,000?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like total, like throughout the whole time. I mean, that's a lot of kids. That's a lot of kids to get fed. I mean, just total. And just to see the impact that makes on, I mean, the education for kids and the opportunity for kids to, you know, focus on education and not focus on eating is just incredible.
There's a bill in there right now that's trying to get everyone to have free breakfast and lunch for the entire state.
Wow, really?
I missed
that one. How did I miss that one? Look, I try hard to look through these committees. Wouldn't that be something?
All right.
You know, I'm happy that other people can do my own stuff. Oh, you guys are. Okay. Hey, we're getting it. Oh. Hey, wait. Time for the quote. Wait. Before the quote, I also want to thank some of our community members that are here because we got community leaders. I want to thank Karen. Thank you for coming here. I mean, you working with us in the school district is really important. And of course, Keith, it's always good to see you back with our city council. Okay, and I think they're trying to kick me out of here, so I will do my quote and we will get going. This is actually at the last council meeting. It was Doug Woodard's last.
Doug Woodard.
Woodard, that's what I said.
Yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. It was his last police chief, thing, because he's retiring. So, police chief. He was.
So Doug
he's
Woodard is
retiring.
retiring, and here's his quote.
Okay, so I couldn't get his quote because my computer didn't work. But here's another good quote. I always had a backup just in case. Yeah.
Let's go.
I tried to think ahead. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life about what we get. That's by Winston Churchill. So I just wanted to congratulate Doug on his retirement. All right. And, okay, can we get a motion and a second to adjourn this meeting?
Second.
Okay.
Oh, they all fly.
All right. Mrs. Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn? Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Meeting, I'm gonna do it.
Thank you, guys.